The Gwangju Uprising happened in May 18th of 1980. When the first president of South Korea was assassinated in 1979, a pro-democracy movement became popular around the country. But Chun Doo-hwan, who had seized control through a coup, declared martial law and suppressed any forms of protest using the military. Despite the tense situations in the city, the citizens of South Korea refused to back democracy.
In the spring of 1980, people's voices for democracy roared around the country.
Among these groups of people were the young and courageous college students in Cheonnam University and many other citizens in Gwangju. The attack, according to the Encyclopedia of Korean Culture, left more than 600 citizens dead and many more wounded and went on for 9 days. The tragic piece of history could have been erased by the government if not for German journalist Jürgen Hinzpeter, after he was informed about the clashes between student groups and the military, wanted to report about the incident. Hinzpeter was a cameraman in Tokyo where he worked for ARD-NDR, a German television studio in Tokyo. He was previously a war correspondent as well. He bravely stepped up to make the decision to go and shoot the incident in Gwangju despite the imminent dangers. In his journal, Hinzpeter wrote that he was stopped many times by the military due to the newly declared martial law that completely censored the press. In order to get through, Hinzpeter told his story, convincing the soldiers on guard that it was a humanitarian mission, not a journalistic one, allowing his crew to pass a fully fledged army. When he arrived, the scene was simply terrifying. The military bound people with ropes into lines. Dissenting citizens protested by climbing up on buses, but later on were shot dead by the military soldiers. Others kneeled on the floor with armed military aiming their gun. There were scenes of coffins laid in rows, most of the corpses belonging to young students with head trauma, thus indicating fatal and brutal beatings. After 2 days of intense reporting of the scene, Hinzpeter placed the cameras and films in a cookie tin jar and under his shirt, hoping that he would not lose any of his footage traveling back to Japan. The footage taken in Gwangju aired several times in Germany at the ARD-NDR TV network and in many other countries like Europe and the United States, informing the world about what was actually happening in South Korea. If it were not for journalist Jürgen Hinzpeter, the event of Gwangju Uprising and the deaths of 600 people would have never been revealed to the world. His works is an example of watchdog journalism and the role of journalism in our society.